Hi, everyone. I'm Bonnie Dixon, and I'm a visibility strategist and photographer. And I am joined today by my guest, Cheryl Gregory. And we are going to talk about the idea of emotion and photography. Specifically, we're going to dive into techniques to reduce anxiety when you are triggered in your day to day or your workplace, and how to reduce it if you are nervous about having your picture taken. So, Cheryl, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Great. Hi. Hi, everybody. Thanks, Bonnie. I have a company called Master the Art of Human Connection, and that deals a lot with people who run into situations that quite often they get emotionally triggered. So you can feel overwhelmed, you can feel stressed, and in the moment, you can't think straight when you do that. So I teach people techniques to bring those peaks down a little bit and lower that curve so you can be calm and think better, make better decisions.
I love that. And so I want to dive right in because I know we want to keep this short and sweet, a nice little nugget for people to kind of enjoy in their day. And so when we talk about emotion in the day to day life or within the workplace, what are some of the things that people would maybe be triggered by? And do you have any tips on how they could handle those?
Absolutely. Well, what happens is we get to when we're getting a bit stressed, we're in our heads a lot, and all the questions come up. Do I look okay? Am I going to look like a goof? Is someone going to make fun of what I'm wearing? This isn't the right color. And next thing you know, by the time they reach your photo studio and they're ready for a picture, they're sitting and they're like, and they can't, that's not the kind of headshot you want. So that's because the amygdala, which is deep in our brain, is triggered for a flight, fight, or freeze response. And it's only natural because your body's going to respond to that. And all the resources in your body go from your brain, your frontal lobe, which is where you think and make logical decisions and you can keep yourself calm and all that. It goes into your body so that you're ready to run away or fight or make yourself smaller. So what I like to do with these techniques is find I call them four relief strategies because there's an emotional relief strategy, there's a mental or cognitive, there's a physical, and there's a sensory. We won't go into all of them today, but there's four relief strategies that you can use to literally take yourself down. I think everybody knows about breathing exercises, nice deep breathing exercises. But when you're at work, sometimes, you're in a place where you can't sit at the desk or in a meeting and start to do deep breathing exercises because it's kind of noticeable. So one of the things that I can teach you to do right now to reduce that stress is in your left hand, there are certain points here that I guess you'd say reference points in your body. So the heart and the stomach are very close to the center of your palm. And so, of course, when you're nervous, your heart's going, right? It starts beating faster, your chest gets tight, your stomach might start to get tight, you don't feel too good. So you can take your knuckle or a couple of knuckles and go right in the center there and just, I do circles. Some people do repeated presses, just circle in there, nice, fairly strong. So you can feel there might be a little tender spot in there. If you feel it, that's good. Just keep rubbing that. So if you're in a meeting, you could literally put your knuckle in that palm and close your other hand. And, I'm doing it right now. You can barely see it. So if you do it in your lap or under the desk when you're feeling a bit anxious, at some point you'll have what I call like a deep breath or a yawn. So you might go, that's your signal that your body goes, oh, I can be calm now. So you can literally feel energy returning to your body, not frenetic energy, but just a nice warm healthy feeling or flow of energy in your body, and you can think better. So you're not going to go blank and you're not going to sort of react emotionally like you would to some emotional trigger. So that's just one of the things, but there's lots. And I include them in my latest program that we're going to talk about in a little while.
Awesome. I really love that tip because it's so simple. And it's, like you said, something that you can do in a boardroom meeting or in a workplace situation that isn't, oh my gosh, look at, what is Bonnie doing right now? It's
Yeah.
very subtle, but something that you can do to self-soothe and really help that anxiety level come down. And I'm going to keep that in mind with my photography clients because so often business owners come to me and they're so anxious about having their picture taken. they're business owners. They're a chiropractor, they're a pizza shop, they're a lawyer. They're not models and used to being in front of cameras. And I understand that all too well. That's partly why I'm a photographer. I don't like being in front of the camera. I want to be behind it, capturing the moments. And so that's a very simple technique with your left hand, to just concentrate on that and help take away that anxiety. So I love that tip.
Awesome. Glad to help.
I know that one thing I also do with clients who aren't very comfortable in front of the camera or maybe anxious about it. One of
Mhm.
the things I like to do is really take my time with them as well, because too often business owners would go for a branding photo session or an updated headshot, and they have 30 minutes and then bang, 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 get them out, and then it's the next client. And I don't subscribe to that method. I think that we all deserve to have our time, take our time, bring different outfits, feel comfortable, go through different poses. I love to build a rapport with the customers and clients so that they feel comfortable and get them out of that anxious state. So I love that tip. I think that it'll be really helpful to share with my clients. And
Oh,
so you mentioned your program. I would love to know more about that. And if there are more tips like that, that I could maybe share with future photo clients.
absolutely. Yes, I call it the stress whispering mini course. There's 3 modules, but there's sort of multiple modules within one. And I basically go into what stress is, what causes it, obviously, where we feel it in our body, because I love to create a mind-body connection, because that way you can start to communicate with between brain and body. And they say there is a brain in our gut, so that tells you, when you talk about the gut feel, that's all connected there. So I do talk about the 3 stress responses: flight, fright, and freeze. I always get those F's, so I'm a little flustered. But we've all heard of those, but we talk about why that happens. And I alluded to it a little bit with the amygdala earlier. And then we go into 4 stress relief strategies that help you reduce that stress. And so again, I'll just mention them again because it's really, I'll expand a bit. One is emotional. So it's not that you're feeling the stress emotionally, but you're using your emotions to relieve the stress. So, in other words, when you're talking about something emotional, like petting a cat or petting your dog, is something that is an emotional stress relief. You always feel better. I mean, that's a really good example. There's a cognitive or a mental stress relief. So it's not that you feel the stress mentally, but you are literally choosing to think about something, so you can't think about this, so the stress doesn't get in. You can't be stressed and not stressed at the same time. They don't exist in the same world. So there's things like crossword puzzles, Sudoku puzzles, that sort of thing. But even one of the examples maybe from my course is, because I love music, and sometimes when I'm listening to, it could be a band, it can be an orchestra, you just close your eyes while the music's playing and just focus on, say, the drums only first, and then switch from the drum to a cymbal, switch from the cymbal to the saxophone, and where you just really hear what the saxophone player is doing, all of the different instruments, maybe the vocals as well. When you do that really laser focus, you can't be feeling stressed at the same time, because you're literally using your mind to focus on something else. So it helps reduce the stress. Laughter is a good one. We all know that. Where am I? Physical means getting out and working out, sweating, because sweating, actually, you release negative hormones, the extra adrenaline and cortisol, through your perspiration. So you literally, like, go to a gym or lift weights, something like that. And then finally, the sensory ones, which are my favorite, are getting into like tapping. I don't know if you're familiar with tapping, but there's different energy mediums in our body. So I take people through a video where we literally tap. And there's tapping, there's something called havering, which is a really nice self-soothing process. And I can't remember how many, I think there's about 18 or 19 suggestions in the sensory alone in the course, plus 4 videos that I take people through, guided processes. And it's very short and sweet, but it gives people an idea, an experience of what it's like to work with me. And then if they want to go further, well, then we can chat about that and work something out.
I
So it's
love
awesome.
that. And this course sounds really interesting, and you really connected with me on the music part. When I am not behind a camera or on a rock climbing wall, which is my other passion, many people know, I am listening to live music. And many times I have been at a concert and closed my eyes and just absorbed the sound of the instruments around me. So I really love that. Um,
Awesome.
yeah.
It's amazing what you can actually hear because the combination of the instruments is awesome. But if you think, I'm going to listen just to the cymbal, I'm going to tune into the cymbal only. And all of a sudden you'll hear ding, 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 which you're not aware of when the whole song is playing. It's really cool. Or even a vocal, a background vocal. It's like that person's like singing something every eighth note they're doing something, but they're not singing all the way through. That's interesting. Or the bass, or yeah, like it's just you're amazed at how everyone is sort of doing something different, yet it's all together.
Yeah, music has such a powerful um, music is such a powerful way to affect emotion. And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, something I do in photo sessions is also I play very lounge, kind of chill, calm music, not spa
Right.
music because I don't want photo clients to fall asleep, but something very chill so that if they do have anxiety or any stress about having their picture taken, they already walk into a very calm and friendly environment, something with a little melody, no lyrics, so that they don't have anything to worry about in paying attention to the lyrics, but just music to help soothe and create a happy energy. So
That
the
makes
modules in your program sound super exciting. I'll be sure
yeah,
to include a link to that in the notes below so that if anyone watching this video would like to check out your program and see some of those techniques on how to reduce anxiety and the things that they can do, then it'll all be there in the notes. And for anyone who is watching and would also like more business visibility tips or just updates and news on interviews like this with Cheryl that I would be doing, I will also include a link to my newsletter there. It goes out once a week, usually on Wednesdays, and you can check that out. And yeah, Cheryl, I'd love to thank you for being here today and your time to discuss, emotion and photography and anxiety and some of the simple, quick tips that we can do to help reduce that anxiety.
well, thanks for having me, Bonnie. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.